Why does age mean nothing? Modern society often divides people into generations: Gen Z, Millennials, Generation X, Generation Alpha, as if success, intelligence, and potential depend on the year someone was born. But if we look at history, psychology, and real human experience, we see that age itself explains very little. Today, we often see examples that challenge traditional ideas about age and success. In chess tournaments, for example, young prodigies compete with world-class adult players. Children who can barely be seen behind the board defeat experienced masters. Their age does not limit their ability, because skill depends on training, focus, and cognitive development rather than the number of years lived. The same pattern appears in business and technology. Gen Z entrepreneurs build startups, lead companies, and create innovations that shape the modern economy. Digital natives grow up with technology and adapt quickly to new systems. Because of this, many people say leadership is becoming younger, and that the world belongs to new generations. At the same time, older generations often feel caught in between. Many people remember the analog world, a time before smartphones, social media, and constant internet access. They grew up playing outside, communicating face-to-face, and solving problems without digital tools. Later, they had to adapt to technological change rather than being born into it. This creates the illusion of generational inequality. Some believe younger people have an advantage because they understand technology naturally. Others believe older generations possess deeper experience, discipline, and long-term thinking. The debate about generational differences continues endlessly. But from a psychological and philosophical perspective, age categories are social constructs, simplified labels that help society organize groups, but rarely describe individuals accurately. Every generation includes talented people and average people, innovators and traditionalists, leaders and followers. History clearly demonstrates this. Throughout centuries, there have always been conflicts between generations. Parents and children disagree about values, behavior, and worldview. At the same time, relationships between grandparents and grandchildren are often warm and harmonious. This pattern suggests that generational conflict is not about age itself, but about roles, expectations, and social change. Technology amplifies this perception. Digital transformation makes change visible and rapid, creating the impression that younger people are fundamentally different. However, human nature remains largely the same. Curiosity, creativity, discipline, and intelligence are not determined by age. Neuroscience supports this idea. The human brain remains capable of learning and adaptation throughout life. Cognitive development continues well into adulthood, and experience strengthens decision-making, pattern recognition, and emotional regulation. Younger individuals may learn faster in certain areas, while older individuals often show greater strategic thinking and stability. From a sociological perspective, generational labels also serve economic and marketing purposes. Businesses use categories like Gen Z or Millennials to predict consumer behavior. Media reinforces these labels because they simplify complex social reality. But individual identity cannot be reduced to generational stereotypes. More importantly, defining oneself by age creates artificial limitations. When people believe success belongs only to youth, they restrict their own growth. When they believe wisdom belongs only to age, they ignore the potential of younger individuals. Both views are incomplete. Philosophy suggests another perspective. Human life is defined not by age, but by action, intention, and character. What matters is how a person lives, learns, and develops. A meaningful life depends on choices, not categories. The concept of personal responsibility also supports this idea. Individuals shape their identity through habits, work, and decisions. Age does not determine ambition, creativity, or purpose. Some people remain curious and active throughout life, while others stop growing early regardless of age. Modern society changes rapidly, and each generation faces unique challenges. Yet the fundamental human questions remain constant. How to live well, how to learn, how to create meaning, and how to relate to others. These questions do not depend on birth year. Therefore, dividing people strictly by age may create unnecessary conflict and misunderstanding. It is more productive to focus on personal growth, knowledge, and character rather than generational identity. Age is simply a number describing time. Human potential is defined by action. One should live in such a way that categories become irrelevant, where character, knowledge, and contribution matter more than generational labels.